Hi everyone, today I'm showing you how to make a foolproof yogurt recipe at home if you've been struggling to make thick and creamy yogurt. So this is the recipe for you, and I'll also be including tips and tricks to ensure that you get superb results. You will only need 2 ingredients for this recipe. I'll start with the first one, which is milk. So please pour 2.5 cups of milk in a pan. I'm using full cream milk here. Do not use low fat, otherwise you won't get a creamy yogurt. And please do not skip this step. It's very important to boil the milk for optimum results. When we boil the milk, it rearranges the protein, which helps in the fermentation later. So I've placed this on a medium heat, and I'm going to bring this to a soft boil. So if milk boils over very fast, so if you are not very comfortable, then keep it on low heat. And you will see that it will start bubbling on the top pretty fast, and it might even form a skin, and that's alright. So my milk is bubbling up nicely now. It's done. I'm just going to stir this, and I will also switch off the heat. As you can see, it rises up really fast and you have to be careful, otherwise it's going to spill over. Next, I'm going to pour the milk in a jug right now and allow it to cool slightly, as we need it to be warm so that we can start the fermentation process. Our second ingredient, and I would say the most important, is 1 tablespoon of plain unsweetened yogurt. So the quality of this yogurt is very important here. So you have to make sure that it comes with live culture in it, otherwise your milk will not ferment. Most yogurts in Mauritius come with live culture, and I know that in some countries they actually kill the bacteria after the yogurt is made. So just be mindful of that. Also, I'd advise you to use a freshly opened pot of yogurt instead of one that has been lying in the fridge, as this tends to be thinner in consistency. So it will produce an equally thin yogurt. So for a nice thick creamy one, use a freshly opened pot. And please do not be tempted to add in more than 1 tablespoon. I know I've done it before in the past. I've added like 2-3 and I was like, maybe it will be better. It actually is not, because it will over ferment the milk and the yogurt will end up being thin or will end up splitting as well. So do not do that. While the milk cools down, we are going to prepare our yogurt culture. So I have here with me 2 tablespoons of room temperature milk, full cream as well. And then to this I'm going to add my 1 tablespoon of yogurt. And then I'm going to mix this well together. So we do this step, and it's really important again, instead of adding the yogurt straight to the milk, because when it's thinned out like this, it mixes evenly with the milk, and then that will help the yogurt set nicely. It's been about 10 minutes now, and I'm going to check on the temperature of my milk. So this is a very crucial step. You need to get the right temperature for the fermentation process to start. So the ideal milk temperature would be around 40 degrees C or 105 degrees Fahrenheit. It's okay if it's a couple of degrees above or below, but it cannot be too far off. And if you don't have a thermometer, don't worry at all. You can also measure this temperature by dipping a finger in the milk. If you're able to keep your finger in for 5 to 6 seconds without burning it, then that's the right temperature. Very often our yogurt doesn't set because of this step. If the milk is too hot and we add in our yogurt culture, it will kill the live bacteria in it, so no fermentation happens. And same if it's too cold. If it's too cold, then it won't even activate the bacteria and there will be no fermentation. So we have to ensure an optimum temperature of the milk for this to happen. So looks like I've reached the right temperature now, and I can proceed with the next step. I am now going to add in my yogurt culture to this. So it's my yogurt mixed with cold milk. And then I will just stir this to combine it well. I have here with me 2 sterilized glass jars. I prefer to use glass to store my yogurt, but you can also use a plastic or metal. Just make sure it's very clean. I am now going to pour the milk and yogurt mixture into the jars, and I'm going to distribute them evenly. I use 2 jars because it's easier to store in the fridge. It takes up less space. And then I only open the one that I'm going to use first, so the other one stays fresher. Now I'm going to just screw on the lids on the pots. I'm going to do this lightly. I won't close it very tight, just like this. It's good enough. And then we are going to set this aside to ferment. Let's talk about the fermentation process. So please store this milk and yogurt mixture in a warm place like a cupboard. It's good if it's a dark place, but it doesn't have to be. You have to keep it like this for 7 to 8 hours, or overnight is best to allow it to set. Do not move the container or open it before the fermentation is complete, as it may hinder the process. In warmer countries, you can also leave it on the tabletop, and usually it's ready earlier, probably in 6 hours or so. For cool countries like where I am, you can't easily leave it in somewhere warm. So what I do is I put it in my oven and turn the light on and close it. Usually it's done within 8 hours, and if I make it at night, I leave it overnight. Also, please do not put it somewhere hot. Remember, a hot place or hot temperature will kill the live bacteria. It's been 8 hours now, so we're going to check if the yogurt has set. I'm using a spoon to show you the consistency. As you can see, it's nice and creamy, so that means it's almost ready. Mine is more pourable because I'm in a cold country. Yours might be thicker. So now it's time to move on to our next step. Also, please do not move the yogurt like I'm doing in a bowl. Just leave it in the jar or container first until we do the next step. This was just to show you how it looks like. We've finally reached to the last step in making our yogurt, and that step is cooling the yogurt. So once it's set, it's important to put it in the refrigerator for at least 8 hours, or you can even keep it overnight for it to set completely. If you need it earlier, then at least I would recommend 2 hours in the refrigerator of cooling, or 2 to 4 hours I'd say. And of course, if you are in a hurry and want to use it right away, then you can use it, but bear in mind it might be a bit thin or runny depending on the temperature of where you are at. This cooling process also helps the yogurt to develop in taste and flavor. And if you're using it for desserts or cereals, it's also best enjoyed cold. I left my yogurt to chill overnight in the refrigerator, so let's check on it now and see how it's doing. So our yogurt looks like it's ready now. I'm just going to use my spoon and show you. Look at how thick and creamy it is. So yogurt is ready, and now I'm going to talk about how to store the yogurt. It should be stored at all times in the refrigerator in an airtight container. as it can easily absorb the smell of other food in the fridge. It will keep up to 2 weeks, though it might start thinning down a little bit. And of course, you can use the same yogurt to create new batches of yogurt. But it's best to do so within 7 days, as it starts thinning down after that. If you're looking for ideas on how to use up your yogurt, then I'm sharing a list here with you. My personal favorite is having them with fresh fruits, nuts, or in an oat bowl. You can also use them for curries, biryanis. Yogurt also helps to give a softer texture to puris and naans. I like to have it with my aloo paratha as well. And a little known fact about yogurt is that it's a very good replacement for cream or mayo in sauces, dressings, or dips. It's also great in cakes and pancakes. I very often use it to replace egg in some recipes when I make cake. And of course, mango lassi. How can I forget mango lassi? Another favorite of mine. And lastly, you can also use it on its own as a face mask or for your hair. It makes hair smooth and shiny. Hope you've enjoyed my recipe, and if you don't want to miss out on my videos, then do subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching.